magic. The binding spell did not work the way she had intended, and instead she just vacuum sucked the mana out of a 9-meter radius area, which the pixie happened to be in. The pixie, kind of requiring magic for pretty much all of her functions other than simple sapience, fell to the ground and is kind of roughed up. And I believe Voin ran up and snatched the pixie off the ground and is currently holding her, um, physically holding her. Did I miss anything, or is that where we're at?
That's about where we're at.
Yep, and Frax basically didn't give too much of a fuck and just calmly strided over once the whole thing was dealt with.
Well, Thrax, if you're going into that void, you will find your special abilities diminished. In fact, I think your magic is less than 9, so yeah, you have lost touch with your puppies if you go into that area.
Alright, then the moment he steps into that area, he's kind of like, ugh! And he takes a few steps back and kind of nervously hangs out around the edges.
Avernia also is rubbing Pyrette's, attempting to scrub her signature, but as she does so, it just keeps reappearing. Pyrette, I can't scrub your signature. It's every time I do, it just reappears moments later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Pyrite, you are sustaining that spell.
Yeah, just saying with the OCD, she probably was not aware of that until this is now clearly pointed out to her. Okay, so yeah, I guess we're gonna do that after we deal with the pixie, because right now it's the only thing keeping her here. And out of curiosity, is this like a vacuum or is it more like a magical EMP?
Neither of those are really accurate ways to describe it. It's more like more like you've cast a shadow in the warp.
Okay, so I'm pulling like a Tyranid thing then. Okay.
Well, more like a pariah, but close enough, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, and now I have an idea of how this is thematically working then. Okay. So I was just like, okay, yeah, let's deal with the pixie first and then we'll deal with this. And she's just gonna look, even this, even with her astral stuff, you can definitely tell, even her astral projection looks winded and is trying to take breaths, even if it is, doesn't need to breathe.
Voin will ask, deal with? And she draws a knife from behind her back. I think at which point it would be appropriate for Killjoy to say, I like your initiative, but let's not go quite that far just yet.
Yes, I'm gonna, for once me and him are gonna actually agree on something, and that's for later. Especially if we don't like what we hear.
Well, we can't really hear much anything while she's, like that.
Is she just completely unconscious? What is going on with her?
Medically, she's just roughed up. She's still conscious. So, I mean,
Okay, so she can talk then. Okay.
yeah. She might have even been groaning or kind of woozy sounds, but she hasn't communicated clearly yet.
How large is this zone of no magic, as it were?
9-meter radius.
Okay, so I can probably, with some difficulty, hear what they're saying over there.
9 meters isn't that far away.
I just want to make sure 9 meters is end to end, not end to center, right?
Radius is center to edge.
Okay.
So the diameter is 18 meters.
That's a bit more distant.
Yeah, okay, that's definitely a lot bigger. So I was... Okay, so this is actually a pretty decent zone I made. Okay.
If I'm doing my math correctly, it's about 254 square meters. I don't think I did my math correctly.
So was it like a perfect dome then I made?
Yeah, it would basically be dome-shaped, pretty much.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it couldn't penetrate the concrete and everything else, right?
Well, it cannot penetrate Mother Gaia.
Okay, so yeah, so it's just like that. Okay.
So is
So
that
yeah, let's...
is she still okay? Frax kind of calls over.
Let's just say she's not going to be able to disappear or fly away in the immediate time.
This
Plenty
is
of
a
time
bad
to give
thing.
us...
This area, there's something bad here. I don't like it.
It was
Let's just say-
done by her.
Yeah,
Reneo's
she's
gonna
just...
point
Okay,
at Pirate.
yeah, the fairy with the clockwork wings. It's just like... I'm not 100% sure how I do this, but I can promise you at least it's not toxic. Or vile in any nature.
So who wants to take point on this?
Who's the best interrogator we got outside of Killjoy? That way we don't have VT interrogating VT?
I'm pretty sure the only interrogator you have is Killjoy. Does anyone have intimidation trained?
I know for sure it's not Pirate.
Like maybe
Everyone does
Voin?
not either.
Thrax? Voin?
I
One of
may
you
have
two?
1 or 2 points. I'm looking it up.
I think Voin and Thrax are the best off ones we have, just so BT doesn't interrogate itself.
I mean, we could always just have all of you pose the questions as Killjoy, and, you know, Frosty tends to try. Oh, wait, Twister's not here. Well, I guess Desperado's playing for Twister's character, ergo Frosty will allow Desperado to roll for Killjoy, I guess.
No, don't have intimidation. I do have a bit of leadership.
Well, leadership might be helpful as well.
To put it
Yeah,
another way,
social
among Aurenial, Durandal, Prodigy, and Pirate, who has any social skills?
I have okay con when I'm not heavily injured.
All Reniel has is etiquette and leadership and negotiation.
Yeah, my okay social skills I have aren't so good
However-
right now because they're all at a -2.
Yeah, I have
However-
4. I have 4 points in leadership, and that rounds out to a total of 5 leadership.
However, Reniel does have the spell influence, but that's not going to help while she's in a mana ebb. Or temporary mana void, I should say.
Yeah.
So then
So,
Killjoy
yeah, that's-
is your best bet. So is everyone okay with everybody basically putting words into Killjoy's mouth, and I'll officiate whether or not it's appropriate, and then you can either take turns, or we can just have Desperado do the rolls, or someone can volunteer to do the rolls.
I'd like to put something else in Killjoy's mouth. Oh yeah!
Well,
You wouldn't want to.
Bite it off. But anyway,
also don't. Also, I used up all my luck, so I'm not going to be doing the rolls for Killjoy tonight.
So I think it best to
kinda-
be then we just each individually pose as Killjoy and then have Desperado make the rolls.
All right, so
I think the best one would be is why she ran.
actually, I guess the first one would be to let her know that her sister's probably not, or her cousin's probably not going to be able to take time off from the kids' show to help.
Okay, yeah, catch her in the lie. Everyone
Okay,
agree with that?
Yeah, a nice big fuck you moment. Sounds good.
The animated TV show, if I remember correctly.
It was.
And I am gravely disappointed about that.
I think the age group it was focused on was like what 5 to 7-year-olds.
9-year-olds, 9
Oh,
to
okay.
12.
So preteens. Okay.
Look, I wanted flying ship. I always have wanted to go on flying ship. I wanted to try blimp once, but tickets too expensive.
So I'm just gonna say straight up, Killjoy is never gonna ask why she ran because he already has the answer to that.
That's fine. The definitely laying the cards out of the table that we know she lied to us straight up from the very beginning. So I think Kara's second question is pretty good of why she wants to go to someone this dangerous for literally nothing.
Almost no pay.
Oh no, the pay is fine if it was a completely different job. Definitely not for this job though.
If it was a random hobo somewhere around the corner or something, or a local like barkeeper or something, that would have been fine
Yeah.
for 5,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
for like a shake-up or protection racket thing, yeah, fine, but not for this.
And technically, because the pixie is in a mana void, this is going to count as torture. So, Desperado, you may roll 13 dice.
Wow.
So I'm not sure why Map Tool isn't making any bling sounds for me, but
It is a mine.
It is for me.
yes, no. Is this it? What do I hit? Typing notifications? No, I want typing notifications. Could someone send a message, please? Like in Map Tool? Test? Yes. Curious. Tools. Preferences. Sounds. Play sounds. Yeah, I have no idea why it's not working. Anyway, so essentially you're having Killjoy reveal to the Hood that the group is aware of her attempted deception and that her target seems worth more trouble than the amount of new yen the Hood is offering for this job. Sound appropriate?
Yes.
I would be curious if she was aware of that latter fact, but yes. One thing at a time.
Sorry, aware of which fact?
That her target was worth that much trouble.
She groggily nods her head to that. Yeah, she knew, and she'd explain that's why I wanted to hire you because I can't touch a guy like that, and I wanted somebody to make him pay. Did my audio come through?
No,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think.
Yes.
Pay for what? Nobody actually seems to know what he did to you.
He assaulted me. He violated me. He's a big dumb brute that needs to be taught a lesson.
Your story, it sounds a bit light. Like he just randomly comes here and assaults you suddenly. That seems too much trouble.
If I remember correctly, out of character, we found out that she hacked one of his company's cars.
Basically, yeah, she was spray painting company vehicles in the area, and no one knew who was doing it, but it seems, much like Killjoy, that Carl managed to catch her green-handed, mainly because the spray paint color at the time was green. So would you want Killjoy to basically reveal to the Hood that we've got a pretty good idea about why she was assaulted, in, her words?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, Killjoy would mockingly insinuate that the Hood very poorly managed to keep herself hidden, and that it's not so much that she was assaulted as that she was punished somewhat in the way of a unruly child being punished by a parent. This seems to infuriate the Hood, who starts swearing in a language that none of you can understand, but it's pretty clear that they're swear words.
Thrax starts cursing in Turkish.
Pirate may not be fluent with her language, but considering where she was born and raised, she's probably hooded before.
And actually, you know what? No, Prodigy could roll to see if he can translate this.
Yeah, I was going
Would
to
it
ask
come-
about Carnivore Gold.
And
Dang.
Hunter, you had a question?
Yes. Would a Carnivore Gold rating 5 also help with?
Not
Arboreal?
even close. Prodigy's pretty much
Damn.
the only one who has the software rating necessary for this.
So what would be the role for that?
The software rating, like any of his computer roles.
Yeah, I guess they're all the same here, so... I have no idea if Analytical Mind applies here.
No, it wouldn't work in this case, I'm afraid.
Pretty good.
But is it pretty good enough? Or should I edge it?
That's your decision to make before I reveal.
I think 6 is probably going to give us a rough translation. But it's just a matter of how good of a translation you feel like Prodigy would want to get. That's a 15.
I'd say that was a reasonable use of edge.
So it is the pixie language of Vehu. So I'll just spell that out for you. Vehu. It is a poorly documented language, but based on linguistic key elements and factoring for, a few thousand years worth of drift, probably close to about 10,000 years. It seems that the words streaming out of her little tiny mouth are somewhat along the lines of implying that all of you are nothing but entities of a sub-importance to the greater aspects of Gaia, that all of you are nothing but dirt, while herself and her own kind are like gold. Essentially, it's racist slander, to put it as
It's pixie
bluntly
racist slander. Okay.
yeah.
Like,
What Thrax says.
What does Thrax say?
What I just posted in the... I can
Yeah,
try and repeat it, but
You
I'm not
could,
sure.
and you could also translate it, because Turkish is a common language.
Well, do you... Yeah, I can translate it. I looked this up.
It really depends on if you're going to get yourself banned from this server for saying it.
It's quite sexual. I'll leave it at that.
At the very least, send me the translation in private text on TeamSpeak. But Prodigy, will you have the roll composure, Prodigy? After all, he does tend to blush easily. Durandal will put her knife away and say, "I don't understand your words," which will just cause the hood to stare directly at Durandal as she continues her little tiny tirade.
It's not polite. It's basically, well, he thinks she's better than us just because she's a pixie, basically.
so not only did we get this is pirating character. So not only did we catch her in a lie, she was going to have us wring our necks out, put our necks out on the chopping block for pittance, and now she's being a racist.
And Durandal says, "She is much better at getting caught."
You know, if you're so important, then why are you here tagging overpasses and rich guys' cars?
And you're picking on some
magic.
hobos.
And there's translation for VT.
I see, I see. That does seem very Thrax-like, yes. But go ahead and give me another roll for... Oh, I guess I didn't actually give you ownership of Killjoy token, so allow me to do that for you now, Desperado. There you are.
My evil plan is working. Soon I will have ownership of all the kins.
You'd never have ownership of a pirate.
He already does!
I know he does.
All right, and what
He
do I
doesn't
need to
want to
roll for
own my
Killjoy?
characters.
13, it's the intimidation again, or torture again. And what was that, El Diablo?
He doesn't want to own my characters.
I don't know, slapping a collar around Thrax's neck and put him on a leash might be good.
Well, no one wants to have
Ooh, then
control
he's
of
one
touch.
with the dogs.
But the point is, no one wants to touch Whiskey because we don't know where she's been.
No, we do know where she's been. That's the problem.
Ah.
Grim especially.
There's not enough antibacterial soap hose down Whiskey to make her clean ever again.
Yeah, that's why you just go straight to iodine.
Where can you find industrial-sized bales worth of iodine at this time of night?
Ask Pirate! All right, do we want Killjoy to edge that?
How much edge does Killjoy have?
3.
How many edges Killjoy used?
Does anyone remember if Killjoy even used any yet at all?
I think he used one edge.
I don't recall him using any, actually. I think
I'm
I was
just-
the only one who did anything with Edge this session.
And you just outright burnt it.
Yeah.
Kind of like with what Aurelial did back when she was saving Ace's ass.
Killjoy did pre-edge a willpower roll earlier, actually.
All right.
I never caught that.
So he's down to 2 edge.
That's assuming he didn't do anything else. I'm just scrolling up to check. Yeah, it doesn't look like he made any other rolls. He did a data search, though. That was amusing.
How well did he do?
Didn't. I mean, for 7 dice, 2 hits isn't bad.
That's not bad.
Of course, his 6 hits on 13 dice for Judge Intention was pretty damn good.
His perception was on point.
So with the edge reroll, he has a total of 5, and we'll give her another willpower attempt. She's still getting a hit, at least, but yeah, Killjoy's awfully scary. And I believe the question that was posed was something along the lines of, if you're so important, what are you doing tagging cars and underpasses?
Pretty much.
She takes a moment to catch her breath and points an accusatory finger at all of you, kind of waving it back and forth, saying that, Mother Gaia needs to be restored. And I might not be like the best pixie ever, but at least I'm doing my part, putting out the good word. She then looks up at one of her garden of flowers that are very, actually, kind of not all that impressive, but cute flowers spray painted on the underpass. She has a long way to. Sorry, what was that?
I was about to say, is she using like your regular aerosol spray cans for spray paint?
No, she's using pixie size ones made by Evo.
I meant, but no, it's still like the same containers and stuff, like the same
Yes,
pollutants in its cans.
incredibly environmentally unfriendly. Yes.
Pirate's guy gonna point that out. Do I need to roll for that at all?
Well,
Pirate's background?
roll an instruction to see if you can describe your chemistry knowledge in a way which the pixie will understand.
I only have 1 dice in instruction because of my injuries.
Do you have any edge left?
No, because I used it all in Bunt 1.
Well, I suppose you could make that one roll to see just if Pirate does any good. Or actually, you know what? Roll chemistry first. For every 2 hits you get on the chemistry knowledge skill, you can add 1 more die to your instruction roll.
Can I maybe also make a knowledge religion roll to see if Frax knows about this whole Gaia stuff?
You may indeed. And Pirate, fantastic roll there.
So that gives me 7.
But no, it's for every 2 hits you get +1. So
Oh,
you
4.
4.
Hey!
Not bad. Okay. And then let's just see what Thrax gets for his roll. So with the 3 hits on religion, yeah, no, there's a lot of religions that have views about pollution harming the planet and the planet being a living entity. This is not an uncommon belief. Was there something specific you wanted to ask?
No, not yet. Just figuring if I can think of something. So I'm going to think on this.
Okay, certainly. And so Astral Pirate will explain that the spray paint cans use an aerosolization chemical which heavily contributes to damage to the ozone layer, despite the fact that the pixie is using very tiny spray paint cans. It's a cumulative effect, which means the more the pixie spray paints, the more damage it does.
And the tone of this is clearly just she's being this clear and simple about it, but the tone is clearly calling her on her bullshit.
Also, Frax, after a bit of thinking, would go like, attacking cities is not the way to save wildlife and planet and everything. You should honor nature where it is, not destroy civilization where that is. That destroying these things does not help to build things.
Okay, Thrax, go ahead and make a roll. Are you going to use your leadership, your intimidation? How are you doing this politely? Are you doing this
Politely, he's basically just sharing
etiquette,
his
then?
view on how
Okay.
nature and how he sees how nature protection works.
All right, so go ahead and make it an etiquette roll then.
Also, I gotta give this pixie some props. In this kind of scenario, she is making these willpower rolls. She thinks quite highly of herself.
So that will be a long shot roll, since I have no skill in etiquette and basically zero charisma. So that's just an edge roll then, I guess.
Yes, without the exploding sixes.
Okay, and you have to spend an edge on it, I guess.
That is correct, yes.
Well, I haven't used edge, so I still have everything left.
Durandal offers, or instead of spray painting the car, break it. I don't imagine you want us to read the rest of that, Kara.
Wow.
Nope, he is just an ignorant yokel.
Well, to be fair, Thrax's point was an excellent point, but the pixie doesn't want to listen to him just because she hates him most of all.
What did Frax do? Oh well.
Well, the whole thing about, using his penis to split her in half.
Oh, she understood that.
We just happened to find the
Oh,
one
whatever.
random pixie in all of London that happens to speak Turkish, apparently.
Or, who has a comm link that happens to have Carnivore Gold installed. Just
Has to
because,
be a pretty
just
decent-
because she's an eco-radical pixie doesn't mean she doesn't have a comm link.
I'm calling her on the bullshit that she's an eco-radical. She doesn't even pay attention to what the fuck she's doing. She's just posing. She's a fucking poser.
Are you going to call it that in person then?
I want to wait to see after the fact, and then yes. Finish with facts, and then yes.
Well, that's just it. She's ignoring Thrax.
Oh, then yes. I'm just calling her out on this bullshit that everything I've seen so far. I'm just calling her a fucking poser. She just put up a front. Because honestly, Pirate's just tired of her shit, especially she's not feeling well after the spell she cast.
Just seeing what Kara's typing, and then we'll take a moment to see if Prodigy or Aurenial have anything further to add.
Prodigy is a little too timid to get involved in this that deeply. Or to put it another way, he thinks they're ripping her a good one plenty adequately.
Oh, I also figured that Prodigy would understand Frax's Turkish, because he does have heavy translator shit and stuff, right?
That's hence the composure roll earlier.
Oh, I'm going. Did
Turkish
VT
is
send you what the actual translation is of what he said?
Literally, the only character that probably doesn't have a translator is my character right now because I'm astrally projecting. So I can't understand a single Turkish thing you're saying.
Okay, well, then
Yeah.
I'll just post it in the general chat still.
Or we'll just paraphrase it.
Okay,
it had
okay.
to deal with fecophilia and animal husbandry of someone's parentage.
Well, you suddenly quite graphic.
Frax is quite graphic in his cursing.
I think Aurelio's more staring at Thrax and going, "Whoa, that's a little too far."
She started cursing, so I returned favor.
Durandal says she is very interesting, but I am confused. Why not do something more effective than the spray paint? Wouldn't even slashing his tires have been more useful? And the Hood just sort of turns to look up at Voin, who's still holding her. Voin is still holding the Hood, as I understand it. And yes. And the Hood will say, oh, slash it with what? I mean, spray paint can't exactly get through one of those fucking reinforced tires, you know.
I ever thought of just, I don't know, buying some caltrops?
Have you looked at the size of me? Durandal, a knife. Do you not have knives where you come from? Yeah, a knife for me. She puts up her little finger. See how big this is? Yeah? You think that's gonna get through one of those fucking tires?
Okay, at this point, this is
By the way,
kind of just
the
the
fi-
exploding thing on her.
The finger she put up to Voin was her middle finger, by the way.
Oh, so she's going the American flip instead of the British flip?
In that instance, because she was just showing one finger, yes.
Okay. But yeah, no, this is where Pyrite's gonna just explode on her.
Oh my.
If you want, I could actually try to cast any of my explosion stuff I have, but I think
That's
better
your
if we
decision.
just no, I just do the verbal explosion thing I mentioned earlier about calling her a poser and all this other shit of how incompetent she is and stuff like that.
Also, I just realized Gaia's actually a Greek mythology figure. I did not know that.
She is one of the grand celestial beings, as a primordial.
Yeah, she's the one who gave birth to Kronos and then started the cycle of son killing father. With the aid of the mother.
I see. I'm just gonna read up on that.
Voin says, "Aren't you magical?" And the pixie says, "Yeah, all pixies are magical. Magical doesn't mean magician. Like that one and that one." So she pointed at Pyrette first, because she obviously knows the astral pixie is a magician. But she took a moment to wonder. Her finger almost pointed to Killjoy, but then she looked around again and then pointed at Erenial.
But yeah, so it's just like... Listen here, Hood. You're just a fucking poser. You're not some kind of eco-friendly person because you obviously don't know what the fuck that means. You obviously don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're just probably some little punk-ass kid who's just going around here trying to think they're so big and tough by tagging a few things here and there and being an asshole to random people. What the fuck do you think you're doing out here?
So, Voin, Hood is wriggling and twisting and trying to get free from you. Not really effectively, though.
Do you like try and stick your hands out trying to strangle me from a distance? Were you even gonna pay us, or were you gonna try to run when the time came to pay us if we didn't followed through on this stupid little stunt of yours?
I would have fucking paid you. God, what? You're gonna call me like a thief now or something? You know, just keep stacking on the fucking insults.
Veronia's going to do it.
By the way, everyone do a visual perception roll. Voin, since you're like point blank, I will give you a +4 bonus on this. Killjoy's roll will be. Where's perception?
What would be my penalty since I'm OCD in the middle of reading her the riot act?
You would do a sensing because you're in astral form anyway.
Okay, but my OCD, wouldn't that, and me reading her riot act, wouldn't that give me further penalties? I'm pretty sure I'm focusing on reading her the riot act.
I believe it's -2 right now, plus whatever
So that's
your
5.
damage penalty is.
Yeah, so I'm at max of 5 right now.
All right, and for Killjoy, it's 14 dice. Wow, Killjoy suddenly lost his momentum there. But Voin, you can see that in her tiny little eyes, the pixie is starting to cry.
Nope. Not feeling bad for this bitch at all at the moment. She's learning an important lesson. Let her cry.
And fucking Prodigy's drone, however, just like doesn't only see the tiny tears, but can see like the capillaries in the pixie's skin going flush in certain areas, making it very clear, according to the empathy software, which doesn't even need to make a roll now, to establish that the hood is very upset.
Upset or sad?
Upset, sad, angry, depressed. Just all the negative emotions you can feel when one is feeling completely helpless and inferior.
I mean, honestly, having to go through this would probably stop her from trying to pull this stuff again. Would probably saving her life if from making a future mistake. So Pirate's not feeling bad.
Except what Voin just did. If I read this correctly, Voin, you're making a unarmed attack on the pixie with a limited number of hits.
Are you just like flicking her, or are you tapping her?
Oh, you're trying to be a gentle pat on the head. Oh, well, in that case, she tries to shoo your hand away. She doesn't want any of it. Interesting that Durandal felt empathy. This is a big step for her.
She's growing up.
I think Eric said empathy doesn't kick in.
She said it didn't, but that kind of behavior is, well, maybe sympathy would be a better word. Rather than empathy, sympathy. In any event, at this point, I think it's appropriate for Killjoy to say that it seems pretty clear that this little pixie is not a threat to any of us, not a threat to the troll she had hired us to waste our time with. She isn't going to pay us, whether she intended to or not. Perhaps it's best if you just hand her over to me. I'll have a good talk with her, and you can all be on your merry way.
You're not gonna kill her, are you?
Oh, certainly not. She seems to be a young woman who just needs a good mentor.
Judge intentions.
Perhaps I could even show her a trick or two to make her more effective.
Yeah,
Sorry, that was
that's
my
Just
terrible
fell
impression of
apart.
Killjoy.
You did a better job than I did, don't you?
Yeah,
worry,
I thought it was pretty
Desperado.
good.
Well,
Just a
Astral
fellow
Pirate,
artist.
it seems that Killjoy has actually become suddenly a good guy. Or at
Just for
least
shits and
he's trying to
giggles.
turn over a new leaf.
Well, I think I've wasted enough time, so you can all do whatever you want, and I go home and walk dogs, maybe.
I need to get me some
Or
aspirin
go hunt,
anyway,
that's
so let's
fun.
just... This whole entire job was just a shit show. I think best we just all head off and find something else to do, some new work elsewhere. I'm gonna find me either a pint or some headache medication, whichever I come across first.
Well, if I hunt down Black Sheep, I'll sacrifice it to Gaia properly. That's the way she is pleased. Which I just read up on Google on.
Very
You're
cool.
going real old school.
And Voin will say, okay, should I have a pint too? Remember, Voin might end up hearing about the other job, Kara, if you want her to get in on that other job. And Hunter, sorry, you were going to say something?
Irenia is gonna say to Durandal, I think you're still a little too young for that. Does she want
she
a
don't-
pint of
Bitch, you
soda?
don't know what her father gave her.
As
was
far
just
as
gonna say-
Irenia is concerned, she's too young.
You ever heard of a fucking daiquiri or something? We can always get her one of those if she's thirsty.
And Durandal's
Yes.
reply is, aren't you just a kid?
No, I am. Recall how old she is.
And Pirate's just gonna
No,
say,
I am 23.
and before Pirate disappears, she's gonna say, Raniel, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I have 10 to 1 odds that she can drink you underneath the table any time of the week. And she's just gonna go back to her body at that point.
That is
And that's
certainly
when the
beyond
magic...
the kid.
Yeah, that's when the mana void disappears.
And Irenia will get to work scrubbing it. Well, she's been scrubbing it this entire time. It's just now it's actually starting to do something.
Actually, Pirate, you were sustaining that this whole time?
Mm-hmm.
It's become permanent.
Oh! Oh!
So, Aurenial can scrub the astral signature directly linking you to the mana void, but the mana void itself still has a sort of residual aura to it. So someone can't link it directly to you, but if somebody were to astrally analyze it and then come around and find you later, they might remember, hey, wait a minute, your aura looks kind of familiar.
Well, that's the best we can do, and yeah, I wasn't aware it was going to have a permanent effect. She just would have kept it up.
Well, that's exactly correct. Pirate had no idea, so that's why I didn't let you know. As long as
Yeah,
you
that's
kept
fine.
it sustained for 9 rounds, it becomes permanent.
Yeah, she would have kept it up just to make sure we were pretty much done with the pixie, and we're done with the pixie, so she would have dropped it at that point.
All right.
And then she would've
Renia's-
just noticed.
It's self-sustaining. Would you bother to recognize that, or is your OCD and painful headache not allowing you to notice that?
It's less Aurenial's gonna mention this, so she's not gonna put 2 and 2 together until a later date.
Okay,
The way
Aurenia?
it is.
Irenia's mentioning it. I scrubbed away the signature connecting you to it, but the mana void is still there.
Outside of finding my reuniting with my sister, London has been just one fucked up after the next.
I think including your you reuniting with your sister.
Yeah, she's put it at like sort of like the little this side is a little on that side. Just like she's at this point, just every time she's gone out doing anything, it's been just bad for her. At this point, she's just constantly regretting coming back home. Technically,
Anyone with some magical knowledge can go ahead and make a magical knowledge roll here about the Mana Void. Void will say, I am upset. I didn't get to do anything. I've been so bored. Reading only goes so far.
Thrax kind of laughs at Pirate and goes, "Oh, this is Shadowrunning. When do things ever really go well?"
All right, so Pirate, you're not sure, but as long as the mana remains healthy in this area, the Mana Void should eventually collapse, theoretically. You know, it might take a day or two.
how nice is the neighborhood?
How, what is the neighborhood?
How nice is the neighborhood?
It's under an underpass of a major highway.
It's not gonna go away for long. It's not going away for a while.
Well, to be fair, London has many ley lines running through it. London is like magic central in, like, of all the European cities, London's right up there. Top 10, no problem.
Turns into the direction of Lambeth.
Hey, there's still mana in Lambeth.
I thought a lot of Lambeth was dead at this
Well,
point.
there are pockets, yes, but for a Z zone, Lambeth is remarkably alive.
Oh. Okay.
Most Z zones are not anywhere near as mana friendly as Lambeth.
Oh, Lambeth, live in the good sense or live in the bad sense?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's like Nar Shaddaa.
No one likes to go to Nar Shaddaa.
Exactly.
You have to go to Nar Shaddaa, it gets complicated.
Okay, so is anyone objecting to Killjoy being given the pixie?
No, Thrax might if he knew Killjoy better, but he doesn't know Killjoy, so... To him he's just another weirdo Shadowrunner.
Come to think of it, though, Prodigy does know Killjoy. So,
Does Prodigy have the courage to stop Killjoy?
let's see what a composure roll turns up. I think that's fair. He'll ask Killjoy to keep him updated on his progress with the pixie, but that would be about it.
I think Killjoy would probably make some kind of pun or wisecrack about keeping a hacker updated. I just can't think of anything witty at the moment.
I mean, you're not updated enough already with all your gadgets and gears?
Nah, that doesn't seem quite Killjoy enough.
But for that one, Prodigy would point out that, yeah, because Killjoy clearly has no way of circumventing electronic surveillance. None at all.
You pretty much all lost Killjoy right out in the open one day.
We know
Yeah.
out of character, or at least in character as well, that he has some kind of invisibility or similar stealth tech.
But that's pretty much what Prodigy's point is. He knows that Killjoy is sneaky enough that he could have unlimited access to every electronics in London, and Killjoy could probably still avoid him.
Oh, see, I misread. I heard that the other way around in my head. Sorry.
It was sarcastic that no, Killjoy clearly has no way of circumventing electronic surveillance.
Ah, okay. But yeah, I guess Aurenial, Pirate, you guys head your way. Thrax, you head your way. Voin, if everybody's ready, we can at least get started on the briefing for the other job.
And if I remember correctly, we all came in Prodigy's car.
Well, you're gonna have to clean the stains out of that then.
Well, Killjoy didn't. The rest of us did.
But yeah, the other job that we would be briefed on will be the Mission C, I believe.
The Technomancer's secret. Yes.
Yes, alright.
So-
Thrax would probably join in for that one.
Really? So you want Thrax to?
Well, or I would
Oh.
have to get a pool character.
It's your call, whichever you'd prefer.
I suppose a pool character would be more likely. Yeah.
Well, did you have one in mind already?
Possibly the hacker rigger thing, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
Well, I suppose a good way to decide would be to find out what everyone else is bringing, and therefore make sure you balance out the team. So, if I recall correctly, we will be having West End Mike for sure, correct?
Yes.
And we'll have Voin for sure, because when were we never not having Voin on a job like this? A Bobob, did you have you were thinking of having Okami come just to kind of observe the meeting? Was that correct?
At that point, yes, but if not, I was gonna probably play this. If we're rating a AAA, this is out of character. If you can give me the information, this is gonna be like a AAA black side, right?
Yes, precisely.
Yeah, I'll play like a pool character medic of some kind, because we're probably gonna need someone to patch people up.
Sorry, is Okami coming to at least check to see if this is something that's interest to her, or not?
Yeah, she is, but I leaning more toward the medic because we kind of would need a medic.
I see.
Well, we'd also
'Cause
need
people
a
are gonna
mage.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was
Could be a
that?
medic mage.
Desperado?
We will also need a mage. And I haven't heard anybody bringing one yet.
the pool character I play as could be just a medic mage.
Okay.
Okami has no medical training at all. She's pure magic.
Aurelio, who is declining this mission, does have heal.
Well, yeah, but no, the medic mage I would play as would have the healing and support spells to help with that, as well as medical knowledge and utensils. And probably some drugs to help people out.
Okay, and was it going to be Smoke or was it going to be Sybil?
Since you said we don't really need another hacker,
We don't
It's
need
gonna be
one, but if we have just one more, it's not the end of the world.
well, we also need an infiltrator expert. And that is what Smoke is. He also has done this quite often in the past before he got caught by Interpol. So he knows how to do this kind of thing.
Or at the very least, he believes he knows how to do this sort of thing.
Yeah. Him as a character probably knows better than I as a player.
Sorry for the delay there. Just a token play that I needed. And so, who else? It'll most likely be Ace, but I'm going to say Ace is going to be arriving late to the meeting, just so that, you know, we don't screw anything up for Frosty. But for a Bobob and for Fuck. El Diablo. There we go. Crap, that took me a minute.
You forgot about me.
Yeah, apparently. We'll not put any tokens down just yet. We'll figure that out as time goes on, basically, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Your characters are present, but which characters those are is, as of yet, indefinite.
Also, why is Mary Morgan up in center? By curiosity.
She
I
was
think
the
she
one
was
who
the
had
Johnson
provided
one.
the previous mission, so
Oh, just not moved the token yet. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, she was the fixer for the last chapter.
Okay, I just thought she was like an NPC or something involved in this current job.
No, the NPC for this current job is the individual who is labeled Sliver.
I've been playing too much Magic the Gathering online lately because I read that as Sliver.
I'm pretty sure Magic the Gathering they're called Slivers as well.
Yep,
Locally,
they're
I've always
slivers.
been pronounced as Salivers.
No, they're slivers, Bobo.
Oh, okay.
It's a slivers deck.
I like those nice synergy decks.
All right. So this individual would be wanting to meet with you in person and would be arranging for this meeting at the base of a telecommunications tower. That basically, because of the extreme radiance of the signal coming off the tower, positioning yourselves right at the base of it actually creates a blind spot from the matrix. So while standing under the tower, you are not able to receive or send anything on the full range of the matrix.
But without it being a true dead zone.
It's essentially a jamming signal is hitting you. So I don't know, are any of your characters actually having that conversation, or is that just you were...
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, if you want to describe your who comes first situate, like who arrives first and who arrives next, etc., etc.
But who's on third?
What's on third?
Who's on first?
And what's on second?
Smoke would likely pick up Durandal, as he's done in the past.
Better have a helmet for her.
Oh yeah. He knows Callie would
Yeah.
insist on that.
Yeah. Piper bike safety.
I
Wear
don't
your
know.
helmet on the motorcycle, and when you're heading to dodge bullets.
Honestly, this is Callie. She might not actually give a fuck. It's more a matter of if anything happens to Voin, then I kill you. I don't care if she wears the helmet or not. It's just if anything happens to her, you die.
What happens if it's so clearly an example of freak of nature and an accident that it's the will of God?
Then God dies.
That she somehow forces herself to astrally project and start killing all the gods in the astral plane?
No, she just like gets all the ammo that is like Fab Type 3 and she loads a Thor shot with Fab Type 3 and just fires it at the planet.
That's a bit unfair.
In any event, the three of you arrive at the tower, we'll say before your contact has made his appearance.
I don't think Mike's actually really met Durandal or Smoke much yet in character.
I think he bumped into Smoke at the bar.
Yeah,
At
but
the
I mean
Hammer
that
Spear.
was pretty brief.
Yeah, but he'll recognize his face.
So
And
yeah.
John has introduced Mike to Durandal at the bar.
Yes.
During
So
that
basically,
same
he knows
meeting.
them in passing.
I'll see if I can find it for you, Kara.
So Mike would greet them and say, "So it seems we'll be working together for the first time on this job."
Pretty much. Yes.
Well, let's see how this all shakes out. Where is our employer?
Well, and have we figured out what Bob or El Diablo are coming in as?
Well, we don't have a... if Bob is going for probably some kind of healer mate, and I probably need to go for some type of hacker or some kind, because we don't seem to have that in the group.
As I said in BBM, the contact, the Johnson, is going to be your technomancer hacker for this job. If you want to be an additional hacker, no complaints. But you do technically have one in the guy giving the job in the first place.
Don't
Okay.
have demolitions or heavy weapons.
That's correct. You don't have a Bishojo.
Yeah, I'm half tempted to
Or a
bring
Hauser.
someone like Whiskey in here, but yeah. Whiskey's
Whis-
You
obviously
also
busy.
don't have Revenge.
Whiskey's doing the other job?
Yes, she's busy with D.
Ah, yes, Whiskey is busy
With haze.
the D.
And I just realized how that came out.
You better pop it back in then. But yeah, so did we have any?
Ooh, I have a
notable-
concept for a heavy weapons character.
Oh,
Even possibly already a token for it. Hang on.
well,
Is it the heavy weapons guy from TF2?
the thing I was going to say is that honestly, if you're looking for heavy weapons and magical medic, Bones and Cage come as a package already.
Do you see
What's
the
going
token I
on
just
with
dragged in?
Babushka grandmother?
Yes, she would go by Granny Goodness. And just be an old lady specialized in heavy weapons.
I think
And
Kara's got a better picture for that kicking around somewhere. I've seen her use it before.
And I'm guessing also very good at
Baking cookies?
no, what's the thing when you're controlling drones? Piloting.
Rigging.
Rigging.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of Rigger somewhat.
But did my message not get through? If you're looking for heavy weapon and magical medic, Cage and Bones are already a package deal.
I suppose so. Cage is kind of a melee heavy weapons person, but I could go
Oh
for
no,
him.
no.
He isn't?
He's got a rapid fire machine gun grenade launcher with 7 different types of grenades.
Huh.
The
Would
hammer
not-
is his backup weapon.
The hammer isn't even meant to be a weapon. The hammer is for him to forge new equipment.
It's just also good at beating people with.
Yeah, let me just say, when we did a mock combat with Cage, he turned Mike and Smoke into pulp in one round.
Yeah. If these two are already pre-built, it's fine, but I do not only got to see Bones played once, so I do not know how to play Bones.
Well, that's just it. Because he's only been played once, he's still kind of tabula rasa. So
That was a shitty game.
don't. Tabula rasa, as in the literal definition of the phrase, not in the aborted MMO.
Yeah, I I don't like the. From what I've seen, like I wouldn't roleplay Cage as he is, but I can do that for a bit.
You can kind of redo him in your own image.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
All right, we'll stick with this then.
So yeah, Kara found the old pictures again, including one more that we didn't see the previous time. I'm not sure. Is she a Warhammer 40k character? She looks like a Warhammer 40k character.
That looks like a las gun. Well, I'm not seeing any Paleogard regalia on her though.
Well, sort of, kind of is.
Second one is a StarCraft parody.
It is, but it's also totally like. In any event, she is an adorable character.
We would call her Granny Gumjobs.
But yeah, so you are okay with Bones and Cage? These two sound like appropriate characters for you.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
go
we
with
won't
this
have
for
to make-
one mission.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Desperado has got Cage, and a Bob has Bones.
Now it's just a matter if I can fit into Twister's pants.
Wait, what?
What?
Also, wait,
Diablo
what? But
has-
what do I have to do with Cage?
Oh, did I say Desperado? God damn it, Al Diablo! Why do I keep fucking up your name?
We both blow. Well, I blow and he bows.
But yeah, you'd all make it to the destination. The contact would give you all a chance to just sort of talk with one another before he deactivates a chameleon coating and pulls down his hood to reveal his face. And so he makes sure that he does this in the most non-threatening way possible. And says, all right, so looks like we got ourselves a decent motley crew here. It's good to see.
I thought they were a decent band back in the day.
Yes, pleasure to meet you as well, good sir.
You are a man in trouble that needs strong things to help fight, yes?
You're channeling a bit of Thrax there, but
Yes.
just I think he's a little bit better with the English language. All the
Okay.
same, I'll get you those character sheets just as soon as I've scrubbed Cage's secret clean. I'm not quite ready to have Cage's secret revealed to all of you, just in case he can be of other use. But all the same... Oh, sorry, what?
I said, that's fine.
Hunter, you had something?
Yeah, I'm just gonna send it to you in week.
And we already established that Carl, spelled with a K, Kara, is actually a llama. I mean, sorry, is actually a troll killmonger. I mean, Killlander. Well, I suppose if the cat's out of the bag and Do we think there's even a remote chance of Andre coming back, Hunter?
If he does, it'll be a long time.
So, fuck it. How do the rest of you feel about learning Cage's horrible, terrible secret?
Don't much care, one way or the other.
Unless it's a key part of the story, I don't see what the big issue is.
The thing is that of all the missions to choose to have Cage present in, this is actually the one that certain revelations are significant.
As a matter of fact, this
So we'll
might be a time for it to come out in character.
Yeah. We'll play that then. If it's going to be
suppose.
revealed in
Yeah.
character in session as part of the mission, then don't see
Okay.
the reason to spoil it.
Then Al Diablo should be told real quickly then. So I'm just going to type this out.
Oh, so this is a secret that not even Bones is aware of.
No, Bones isn't aware.
Oh, I thought there was like two peas in a pod, these two.
So Al Diablo, do you get what I mean by that?
Yes, that is rather curious. I didn't know that was possible, but I suppose that could work.
It is indeed. You just have to take certain things that I'm typing in. You have to take certain of those to get that to happen.
Okay, well, I don't know too much about Technomancer, so that doesn't tell
Okay,
me
well,
anything.
Diablo just blew the
Damn it.
thing.
Don't tell me secrets!
Oh, wonderful. So yeah, Cage is a technomancer who doesn't know how to hack. All of his technomancer abilities are much like a physical adept. They allow him to hack his own biophysiology, basically allowing him to run faster or react quicker with more precision, to have bioelectric radar, all sorts of abilities that basically are just from self-meditation, essentially.
I do wonder how that's different from being a physical adept, but
Simple.
Right.
Physical adepts use magic. Technomancers use evolution.
Yeah, basically, any sensing that doesn't nail like 5 or 6 hits, he looks completely mundane. As do
And
all
for those-
technomancers.
For those of you who did astrally perceive him, I did note his cardio, like his aura, was like super perfectly ordered, was the hint that I gave. That his aura, for some of you, looked familiar but different. And when Sybil sensed him, she sensed he was familiar but also very different, like complete opposite but familiar. Sorry, what did you say?
The phrase you used when you told me was, he felt like an anathema.
Indeed, anathema.
Yeah, and I think the main difference between a technomancer adept versus a magical adept would be in the what they can actually do that can influence the outside world. Because I don't think we're gonna see like killing hands or anything like that done by a technomancer adept.
But they can gain an echo that allows them to basically electrocute your synapses with a touch.
Yeah, but I want to call it like all the little punchy, kicky abilities that magical adept can get.
Yeah, they're not about to be able to do ice fist or breathe fireballs, but they can basically, with the right echoes, physically touch you and hack into your brain to basically cause you hot sim damage directly to your cerebral cortex.
well, that
Or they
doesn't
can
sound like
force you into
things
VR.
physical adept would do either. But anyways, let us continue.
Indeed. So Voin says, yes, we are here for the job. And the man who decloaked himself nods his head and he says, I'm Sliver. I'm the technomancer. Now, I'd naturally appreciate it if all of you would not sell me out to some heartless corporation. I'm putting myself on the line here. I hope you all understand that. And I hope you also understand that as a professional, I've taken certain precautions so that if any of you do try to sell me out, you'll all regret it. So amongst yourselves, if you're familiar, if you're friends, make sure that your buddies don't try to sell us out either, because things will just get ugly and messy. And that's not meant as a threat. It's just a professional precaution. I hope you all understand.
Oh, I understand.
That's fine.
Durandal says, I will
have-
not. My mother respects privacy.
And I have many reasons
understand.
why not to betray you.
And Hunter, you were saying?
And I completely understand professionalism.
So wait, if we sell you out to a non-heartless corporation, that's okay then? I'm just kidding.
Name one.
I'm kidding. Seriously,
Right.
we've got better things to do with our time.
Well, the fucking irony of the situation is, well, I'll get to that when I get to that. First of all, I'm going to respectfully assume that you all have experience and that you're all worth your salt. Otherwise, your fixers wouldn't have got you in touch with me. Assuming, of course, all your fixers are to be trusted as much as any fixer can be trusted. But you should have been informed at this point already that we're going to be going into a black site AAA organization laboratory. Does that come as a surprise to any of you?
No, considering what was mentioned about everything about the pay and the potential of the job, make everything seems to add together.
Nope. On the plus side, if it's
A
truly a black
surprise.
site, that means that extraterritoriality doesn't quite apply.
Yeah, but nothing applies when it's a black site. So
Oh, of course. They will still try and kill us extremely thoroughly.
when you say that, the look on his face changes quite dramatically, actually. And he's like, oh, not kill.
Something worse?
Yeah,
Something
sure.
worse?
Yeah,
Really
sure.
depends on how good you're at negotiation.
Do we have a name to who runs this black site, just so we know what we're getting into, or can you at least share where they are on the rank on the High Council?
It's AAA. Like that's all I'm telling you for now. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page before I tell you who we're going up against here. Now, I also want to make sure if any of you need to air out any particular AAAs that you might have a personal vendetta against, or a certain AAA that you might have a contract preventing you from interfering with, now would be a good time to mention that.
Out of character, I don't know if Bones has anything like that.
Same
No,
with Cage.
Bones and Cage do not have any AAA worries.
Okay. No, we're clean on that.
Yeah, companies are pretty much all the same to us.
Yeah.
Stay out of their way, usually.
They're all worth too much money for their britches.
So I'm looking like, no, nobody here has any particular favorite or unfavorite AAAs.
Good, good. And sociopolitically, this is a touchy matter. Do any of you have any problems with technomancers?
I've
don't
actually
think-
known one.
I don't think anyone would have taken this job if they had.
And
Durandal asks why. But anyone else have anything to add first?
do at this point in the timeline, does the otaku thing still have like a bad vibe when it comes to technomancers, or technomancers are now a real open thing?
Technomancers are a completely open thing. They've been blamed for plenty, but then it was revealed that technomancers were basically being operated on like guinea pigs. So there's sympathy and there's fear about technomancers, like randomly throughout the rest of the world's population. It's a crapshoot whether someone wants to have technomancers or wants technomancers destroyed or doesn't give a shit. It's pretty much the whole awakening on fast forward.
For whatever it's worth, being a registered, admittedly, technomancer in London is not a crime. Being an unregistered one is, but being an unregistered mage is too.
Bones, from personal experience, he was this close to examining a technomancer during one of his field medic jobs, but one of the other doctors got the privilege, and Bones didn't find out until after the patient had already been discharged.
So he wants to at least do like a medical exam.
He has a professional curiosity.
Okay, then he would voice that. He just has a professional curiosity about how it all works and stuff, but that's about it.
Mike would chuckle and inform him that he has no problems with technomancers. By the way, do you have a comlink number we can send data to?
User in your channel timed out. User entered your channel.
Hello?
It's test.
Welcome back.
Okay,
Oh,
sorry about
server
that.
disconnected.
You disconnected. It seems that everyone else is still online. I don't know. Is everyone able to send a message in Map Tool? Smoke, Durandal.
Yes, but you also dropped out of BBM at that same point.
Out of BBM.
Or not BBM, TeamSpeak.
Oh, yes, but I came right back into TeamSpeak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Oh, my recording stopped, though. Better fix that.
User in your channel started.
So what was the
recording.
last thing all of you heard before my disconnect?
It was Desperado talking.
Yes, Mike, to repeat it, Mike would chuckle and say, no problems with technomancers here. By the way, do you have a comlink I can that we can send messages to?
All right, so before that, Sliver would have addressed Bones and say, as long as you don't try to experiment on me, we should be fine.
No, just your normal physicals and other stuff like that. Nothing like that.
Bones
I
is a
think he
good
means
doctor.
nothing
You can trust him.
non-consensual.
Or just straight up nothing. Just don't go examining me. If you need to treat me, go ahead and treat me, but I'm not here to get a physical.
Nope. You asked your question and I gave you the answer to your question. All it was.
I'm guessing Kara's off getting water at the moment, considering she's disconnected. But,
I'm guessing so.
So I'll wait till she gets back before I say, oh. Well, Kara, it says you've disconnected for, oh, there you are. Do you still need to go get your water? Okay. Well, the reply that Sliver would have for Durandal is that I ask because A, I'm a technomancer, and B, what we're going up against is in a way related. Which leads me to my next question. Do any of you have particular sympathies for technomancers?
Smoke will nod.
Again, do you have a comlink number I can have?
We'll get to that after we're out of the shadow. And he points up towards the tower, the communications tower.
Mike nods and kind of winks a little.
But I think he gets your hint, Mike, but he's going to repeat the question. Do any of you have any particular sympathies with technomancers?
I'm not a fan of seeing them cut up and experimented on, if that counts as a sympathy.
I know of one.
Voyne says, no, I don't feel any way about them. All right. Do any of you have any particular sympathies for metasapients or various extensions of humanity?
I just
Basically the
judge
same.
people as they are.
And as for me, basically the same. I'm not a real big fan of seeing anyone cut up and experimented on, so, you know.
Obviously, I don't have any trouble with the more unusual metahumans. As you can see, I'm probably fall into that group.
Right. Right. So
If I did, I wouldn't be hanging out with my best buddy right here. As I just tapped this guy. See, for your knee, I probably have to reach up a little bit just to tap you on the knee.
no, knee is at the like you'd reach basically slightly low to hit his knee if you were to put your hand straight out. But like to hit his thigh or his butt, you'd have to reach up.
Yeah, it was just like the friendly tap, just like, hey, if I had issues hanging out with those kinds of people, I wouldn't be hanging out with this guy. Or consider him a friend.
And I have a friend who's also a variation of metahumanity.
Bones is pretty strange, though, sometimes.
Right, I
Especially
guess
when
I-
he gets around cat people.
I guess I'm being a little bit too subtle here. Let me make this a little more blunt. Would any of you feel the need to step away from a job if it meant potentially having to do harm to individuals who are of minorities? Not because they are minorities, but just because they're in the way.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh.
I've been in wars. I know how it works.
Bones isn't a pacifist, right?
No, he's ex-military.
Okay,
As
so
was
he's
Kate,
like,
right?
Correct. They both met in mercenary company.
as long as they don't pose a threat, we have no problem with them at all. And if they do pose a threat, well, gotta protect the team.
No issues with that.
Equal rights means equal rights to be shot if they're in our way.
How American of you! That's in character.
Thank you. I think.
But his accent is clearly British.
I think that was on purpose.
It is the American spirit in him.
Which part of America? I've been to quite a few different places over there. Oh, that's where I call home. Voyne says, we will deal with any problems that arise. It's like, okay. Because who we're going up against kind of has certain affirmative action employment routines, if you're getting my drift.
Oh.
Out of character, somebody clarify affirmative action.
Do you have any corporate knowledge skills you can roll?
As smoke, security tactics, corporate, security design, corporate.
Yeah, no, go ahead and roll that. Sure. Durandal will ask giants. Sliver will say, I don't know if they're giants, but there's certainly a chance. I think more likely, given this area, we'd probably see pixies, AIs, maybe other technomancers.
Gonna guess it's probably
Ouch.
what. You're talking about the AAA that has just 3 letters in the name, I'm guessing.
But, I mean, there's more than one that only has 3 letters if you take the abbreviation, but yeah, the AAA that is only 3 letters long.
Yeah.
Eva.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not exactly eager to do this run, but they have information I need, and I know they're not willing to deal because where that information is being kept is strictly off the books.
So this is more. Is this an actual R&D facility, or are we talking just archive storage?
Predominantly archive with some minimal R&D. It's an underground facility here in London. I know of its coordinates. However, I haven't done enough reconnaissance yet to establish its full size, but my early information suggests it's on the smaller side. So good chances that it's not a self-sustained facility, which means that there are vulnerabilities that we can exploit. Of course, we're going to have to do some more in-depth research on that, but what I've got so far suggests they have food deliveries that include specialty items for elements of the security forces there. I'm pretty sure they're Naga.
Okay, there.
Naga. I have not
I
had
was actually a
the,
bit put off by that. It's like,
I have not had the incidents of running into one.
Do they
Well,
fight
no,
well?
exactly.
Let me put it this way. If any of you are coming up against something here you're unfamiliar with, don't hurt your reputation. Please, I need to feel confident in all of you. So don't lie to me, obviously, but if something's completely out of your wheelhouse, sure, bring it up. If it's something you think you can check out on your own time, maybe it'd be best if I don't feel like you're going to be a burden on this job. No offense meant. And Durandal will reply, I do not like to lie. He'll nod. That's good.
Smoke's gonna do a quick data search. Once they leave, Smoke's gonna do a quick data search on Naga. Gonna have to make a mental note.
Out of character, a
And they leave.
Bobob is partially correct. The the drones can have computer parts and electronics. They will not be able to function from the spirit directly. The spirit can move physical components. So if a drone is got propellers, then the spirit can force those propellers to spin. But if the drone can only fire a laser weapon, then the spirit cannot trigger that because a laser weapon is purely electronic.
Okay, I'm just considering a rigger magician combination, or rigger shaman rather.
So yeah, let's establish here this is going to be a run onto an Evo property that is blacklist or black site, so they're not going to want to have their location revealed, so that gives us a certain advantage. I've got some rudimentary information, and I've got some avenues to pursue to get further intel. If you all feel this is something you can help me with, now's the time to give me your word. Because if you don't think you can handle this, you can leave now, no hard feelings. But once you're in, and I'm going to need you to give me 100%.
Do we need to do this all quiet like? Because, he pulls out whatever big weapon, Cage pulls out whatever big weapon he has. I don't think
he
I
bring-
fight very quiet like.
Would he bring a big weapon to a meeting?
Well, I don't know Cage too well.
Like I said, you're basically redefining him for yourself anyway. But is he a Thrax, or has he got a little bit more finesse, you think, than Thrax?
From what I have seen of him, he likes to fight and he likes his weapons and everything. So since this is a clandestine meeting already, I see no reason why he wouldn't have brought his best stuff.
Okay, then. To which Sliver will reply, I'd ideally like this to be as clandestine as possible, but we work with what we got. Voin will
And
say,
if-
I believe I will be a useful asset. I was born to an assassin for corporations. Correct. Born to be an assassin for corporations.
Bones is going to be interested in that. But
I used to steal from corporations.
Bones
Is all
gonna
of
speak,
Mike's laughter in character there?
Oh no, that is me forgetting that I had the mic on, or thinking I had it off.
So why are you laughing hysterically?
Oh, just the whole thing.
Well, does Mike
You
have
know.
anything to add?
Bones sounding like he's turning into some kind of morbid doctor and stuff. But anyway, no, Mike's only comment is, that's the job description of being a Shadowrunner, isn't it? I have no problems with this.
All right. Well, if you're all in, I do have word on one more interested party who is apparently dealing with something at the moment, but it sounds like a trustworthy individual. So I'll be briefing them later on once I've confirmed and squared up that whole situation. But for the rest of you, he's going to reach into his coat and he's going to pull out a couple of data chips and he's going to hand one to each of you.
Oak's gonna take his.
yeah, Bones would take it.
Cage would take it after Bones takes it.
No, Mike would take his and go ahead and probably slot it into one of his spare comlinks.
This contains contact information for reaching me, my preliminary research, and the location of the Evo facility. Oh, I believe your fixer also should have stressed to you the nature of payment for this job. I pretty much blew my entire savings getting this intel. But this facility should have adequate information for pay data. There is, however, one piece of information that I'm looking for, which I do not intend to share with any of you. Is that going to be a problem?
No problem at all, because that sounds like the mission objective.
We get you your data. Anything else we grab on our way out is our payment.
Would that data be dangerous for us then?
All pay data is dangerous by its very nature of being corporate secrets.
No, I
Of
mean,
course, what I've given you already is payment in advance. You have in that data chip the location of an Evo secret corporate location. You could blackmail Evo with that information. You could sell it to one of their rivals. That information is worth Nuyen. However, being professionals, I understand that you will all respectfully hold off on exploiting that intel until after this job is done.
Yeah, that would kind of shoot ourselves in the foot there.
Yeah, but that is what I'm
course.
actually asking. Is the information that you are keeping possibly dangerous to us if you want to blackmail us, as it were?
No, not even in the slightest. It's
Okay, then
Don't-
it's fine.
Just a
out
small
of-
request here.
go ahead.
Just an amendment. You clearly have been working in the shadows for a while, I'm guessing, correct?
He'll nod his head. He says, "You don't get to be this old if you're not at least somewhat good."
Then you probably would be aware of certain people who, after we gather the information, would have a vested interest in said information and be easy to contact potential buyers.
I won't be providing that kind of information until the job's done.
Of course, that's what I was referring to, though. But if you're willing to act as a liaison with a, say, a small reduction to your cut for such transactions.
No offense meant to any of you, but once I have my information, I am dust in the wind as far as any of you are concerned. I just, it's not that I don't like you, it's just what I need is going to be time sensitive, and I'm going to need to act on it straight away.
Then
I
could you at
really
least,
hope the dust part is not literal.
then could you at least provide a list of names that we could contact to try to that might be interested in some of the data we're going to be collecting then.
All right, Abobo, I think this is a good time to roll for Bones negotiation. So let me just go ahead and check here. Where
I just feels like that could be part of the payment. This is a list of potential buyers for any information we can gather later.
yeah, that's
It's easier
sensible.
to get rid of the data.
I'm just trying to see. Yeah, I don't have any of his page open yet, so I'm going to do that right now. Fuck, what was his name again? Bones. Yes, there we go.
Yes.
Took me a moment. BP builds Bones. Bones. There we go. Open.
Remember being somewhat facey, if I recall
Oh yes.
correctly.
No. Well, he's a triad. So, yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. And his charisma plus his do 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 do. Skills tab takes forever to open. Here we go. Go ahead and give us a 9 SR4.
Line this up. Four hits.
I'll start drafting up a list of some names and contacts, but you won't be receiving that until afterward.
That's purely fine, and I understand that completely. That's what I was expecting anyway. Just as bit addition to the payment at the end of the job once it's completed.
Out of character, Kara, what was that you were saying with Durandal? Would Callie have spoken him who about this? And yeah, what is that? That's something that Durandal would have to say out loud. That's not that hasn't come up yet at any point. So if Voyne wants to ask that, she's going to have to ask that herself. Sliver will look curiously at the queer girl and sort of motion with his hand for go ahead. And Durandal asks, "You are very connected digitally, correct?" And he'll nod his head and say, "More or less. There's something you have in mind?" She'll ask, "Have you heard any information on a Shadowrunner known as Bo? Information on such would be very useful as payment." And he'll give a bit of a quizzitive look and say, "Well, name doesn't ring any bells right now, but I could look into it. It's a interesting request, but given the nature of what I'm asking all of you to do, sure, I guess I can put some time into the resonance and see what comes up on Bo." She nods and says, "Thank you." Smoke, roll a composure for me, please.
Right.
And to be fair, Durandal's more of a sociopath than a psychopath, Mike.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I always have
I am not
trouble
rolling well
keeping the
tonight.
two apart.
A psychopath usually is someone who's like got a neurochemical imbalance. A sociopath is someone who doesn't fit within society.
Yeah, one has certain issues where they cannot understand or accept certain social aspects or norms. The other one's just flat out crazy.
So, 2 hits.
Yep, that's some things happened, but I'm not saying what. So he's going to look over all of you and say, "All right. So did you have any other questions before we break? I give you all a chance to review the information you've got. I'll then set up a conference call in about 3 hours' time, and in that conference call, we can start negotiate or start pooling our resources for how we want to tackle this particular infiltration."
Sounds fine with me.
Okay. Do you want us to come dressed for a ghost run or for a loud run?
Well, first we're going to actually discuss what we're doing.
I'm fairly certain you can dress however you like for a conference call.
Or not dress at all.
And it doesn't matter for me.
Just keep the camera on your head and no one will know.
Sorry about that. Bit of a old history popping up in there. This is reminding me a bit too much of some stuff I used to do in the past.
And just a quick confirmation here. How many of you are magical?
Bones raises his hand.
Okay. Well, not to stress you out too much then, we're going to have to be relying on you quite a bit.
That's fine. I'll try my best, but some of my medical skills are magical based as well as more material based, so I won't be able to be at my top best if I have to cover both duties. So try not to get shot, or at least if you do, try to make sure it's not in a non-vital area.
Well, considering your big friend there, I think the only one who should get shot, if anyone gets shot, no offense, should be him.
Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, make sure to use him. He makes good mobile cover from what I've learned in our times working together.
Don't sell it that loud, that obviously. But yes.
And what should I be calling all of you for this job?
You can call me Smoke.
Bones.
I go
Durandal
by-
says. I am
go by Mike.
Durandal.
I am Cage.
Okay. So, Smoke, Bones, Durandal, Mike, Cage. Good, good. You all should remember I'm Slim. And Mage, big guy. You three, what are you bringing to the table?
Infiltrator.
Out of character, it sounds like Mike is waiting to give the last word after Voin.
I was just waiting for Carrie to finish typing. 1 second, I got phone.
Yeah, I was going to say, since when is a Bob Mike? But Durandal says, I am skilled at all forms of physical combat and weaponry, as well as some infiltration.
I'm a people person, as well as a smattering of computer and stealth abilities.
So, computer, good. I'm going to possibly need to rely on you for some backup if I get into any trouble while breaching the systems.
I will admit my my hacking abilities aren't quite up to par, but I will do what I can.
Smoke
Maybe
holds
I'll,
up a hand. I'll also admit I've got some hacking ability as well.
right. Well, I'm not looking for a dedicated hacker here, but if either of you could run interference or flank a target, that'd work great for me.
I will do what I can, no problem.
I can attempt. Provided I'm not in the busy sneaking.
Well then, it was very good to meet all of you in person, but I think now's the time that we go about our separate ways. You review the information I've given you, and I will be getting in touch within 3 hours. Don't worry, I've already got all your contact info.
Smoke's just gonna nod.
So if no one else
Okay.
says anything to him, he's going to pull his hood up over his head and reactivate his chameleon coating and just sort of disappear behind the communications tower.
If only
Yeah,
they made things like that in my size. Well, they
It's like
do,
no-
but it's very expensive.
No, I'm pretty sure Cage. Let me double check it, but I'm pretty sure Cage is already sporting some stuff of that.
Oh, he
nature.
already has one of those? Damn.
Let's see here. In his case, no, he doesn't, but it's not that expensive. It's
and
it's
since-
like a couple thousand new yen.
Yeah, and since I'm not aware of what's on his sheet, I would have voiced it as magician, but primarily combat medic.
A
Speaking
couple
of which,
thousand new yen's pretty expensive.
not compared to what you can get for New Yen. Like, considering BioWare and cybernetic implants, a couple thousand is cheap.
Well, all my characters have always had trouble making money, so...
No, they haven't. I've just had trouble actually sending you the updated character sheets.
Did anyone else get a message from
A message
West
from
End
what?
Mike? A whisper from West End Mike? Or...
No.
That's
No,
kind of,
no,
the point of it being a whisper.
Yeah. What's
If it,
this?
if it
what's
was a
this?
general chat, yeah, if it was a message to everyone, it would not have been listed as a whisper. So it's,
Well,
I see
I
two
never
certain
get them. I
elves
never
in our
get them.
group. Yeah, I see two certain elves in our group are canoodling over something. Canoodlers.
That's all it was. Asking permission before he mentions his specific relationship to technomancers and why he would have sympathy for them.
Canoodler.
And of course,
You
for
have
answering
no
would be
idea.
yes.
You don't have to take such an incident term as canoodling and take it to that degree, Mike.
Oh no, my point is, we go way beyond canoodling.
Okay, I've been
Yeah, that's
broadcasting this
definitely
whole
your
time.
point.
So, hey guys, I'm happy I got ourselves that little bit of bonus payment from the dude.
Not bad. Hopefully, we would be able to handle that ourselves, but certainly cut out the middleman.
We'll cut out the middleman cut out the middleman, which means we don't have to get the middleman a cut.
That's the whole
He-
point of cutting him out.
And he's not looking to sell pay data here. He's looking for some very specific information. He's also a bit appreciative that none of you bothered to pry into that. But I, as GM, I'm a little surprised none of you tried to figure out what this information is that he's looking for.
I
If
don't
it's
think...
if it's added a AAA black site, that's above all pay grade. Let him get his information. I don't want to know about it because the more people who know about AAA black site archive information, the more people that need to be put into the ground to be silenced.
But that's what your pay data is.
There's a
Yeah,
difference. There's his secret stuff, and then there's our secret stuff. Either of this is going to intercede.
My comment is more that I doubted that just straight up asking him what it was going to get very much results. We might pry later through more covert means.
The only thing that's going to annoy me about this mission, if we did all of this for some really secretive, highly addictive cookie recipe that got stolen by Evo and put into the archives.
No, actually, knowing Evo, it would have been accidentally developed and stashed in the archives.
Like the world's greatest, best chocolate chip recipe that is so good, it is just like nothing tastes good anymore
It's
because
so-
of how good that cookie was.
It's so good, it's almost like K10. One bite and you're addicted.
Yeah.
And you can never stop eating it.
Which then raises the question, what was the primary research when this was the accidental product of it?
Just making a really
But-
good cookie.
Back on subject before we end tonight's session, the information you all receive will be that the location of this facility is underneath a kind of underdeveloped part of London that's off in the, let me take a look at the map here.
To the map.
I'm trying to remember, south side. The rule book doesn't say a lot about it, does it?
Not really.
Right. So this will be basically around the Battersea area, in a part of the London area that was never fully repaired or what's the word I'm looking for here? When the city was down on hard times, this part of the city was never redeveloped. So it's got a lot of old
Gentrified?
abandoned buildings in it. And that's kind of ideal for certain corporations to perhaps put secret facilities in the area. There is speculative information on the facility saying that, being that it's underground, it's his understanding that magicians have limitations with accessing underground facilities unless it's through the front door or some other equally large hole into the ground. But there is likely some kind of ventilation network. So while infiltrating through ventilation ducts is no easy task, it might be a potential avenue of egress after the fact. There is also speculation that this facility will have Naga security, that it will have pixies as either employees or security, that it will have a wide variety of metahumans, possibly Sasquatches, that the subject matter of the facility is focused primarily on correlating data related to AI and technomancers, but that the research that goes on within this facility is most likely limited since it is one of the smaller secret facilities. So they probably won't have full hot labs, but they might have a few minor medical labs or computer labs.
The medical labs interest Bones for the possible research data there.
Any specific questions any of you might have that I may have forgotten to reveal?
A little bit about Cage's character sheet. I believe he was computer illiterate, correct?
He is indeed computer illiterate.
Yes,
and
I
has
remember that
gremlins at
from
rating
interactions.
2.
Sorry, what
Thankfully-
was that, El Diablo?
Yeah, I said that I remembered that from interactions. Okay.
His comlink has some personality software, so he can just basically ask it.
Yeah, very minor VI, as it were.
But yeah, Cage will probably know the actual part about the seeding of information. He'll probably be pretty much in the dark at that point.
As for possibly sending something to the ventilation, we only had none of us have drones, so that means only one person can probably fit in anything ventilation-wise.
More likely for reconnaissance.
Smoke might also be able to, you know, given that.
And he's,
Sorry?
he is 75 kilograms and 1.77 meters.
Yeah, so he's below average for an elf.
Okay, so it's Durandale and Smoke are the only two we can really fit in the ventilation if we try that route.
And to be fair, those are the two infiltrators.
True. I mean, I could try to send a spirit down there with you guys, but I'm gonna guess this place has a lot of magical protection, so it'd not be good to send a Watcher spirit to do anything like that.
It's also likely that Smoke will be seen, but if there are pixies, because he doesn't know anything about Naga,
That's something we can research in character.
Yeah. He's never run into a Naga before. So he has no clue
The
what they're capable.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they have any hidden pixie agents anywhere, that's going to be a bit of an issue there because we have no way to detect them if they go full pixie invisibility.
Yeah. And unfortunately, one of the few things that can see smoke while he's invisible
That's sensing.
is, yeah. Can't see him with heat. Yeah, with the sensing though.
Yeah. I hate to say this, we're all gonna try our best, but we all know this job gonna go loud at some point. There's no way we're gonna be able to stealth this entire thing.
Well,
But hey, as long as Cage remains conscious, he can handle most any threat.
Yeah, so feel free, Diablo. You got a pocket medic, because I'm gonna keep your ass alive, because be my cover and protection. Because if I remember what Bones has, he's got not a lot to keep himself safe.
Yeah, and pixies
Well,
can
the
make
other thing
themselves
is-
invisible, but it doesn't protect you against splash damage.
No.
the other thing is, though, stealth doesn't automatically mean being invisible. This place needs supplies. You know, the classic thing of we're the delivery people with your latest cargo can work to a certain extent. So can several
Well,
other things. This is where
problem is,
some proper recon will help us.
thing is, though, the guy said we're on a time limit. Well, he is, at least, for the data.
No, I don't believe he said that.
He said what he wanted was time sensitive.
Yeah. Which means...
He's-
there's a...
Once he's got what he wants, he's not going to be sticking around for anything. I think
Okay.
I may have misphrased it, but what I meant to imply is that once he has what he's come after, he's out of there. He's not waiting for anything. Once he has what he needs, he's making sure you all understand the moment he's out that door, it's the last you're going to see of him. He's gone.
Oh. Okay, once we get to data, it's time to go then. Because he's gone. And there goes our tech support.
Well, he'll stay with you till you're all out of the facility, or till things have gone to hell and everybody needs to just run.
Okay.
He's a professional. He's going to do what he can to keep the team alive. He's going to do everything within his wheelhouse. But being a Shadowrunner, when push comes to shove and your back's
You look out
against
for
the
number
wall,
one.
you look out for number one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then.
And just
Yeah,
out of character, one quick question. How do you all feel about your Johnson?
Much more
Straight to the
trustworthy than
point.
Pixie was.
Or just a better
You're
liar.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Feel about
the-
what? Sorry?
Yes, I know you want to make a joke there, El Diablo, but why don't you all post
I didn't actually,
emptively?
but okay.
Oh, I asked you what you thought of your Johnson. I thought you were making a sex joke. But if you would all roll judge intention, I can at least give you an impression of what you thought of Sliver.
Well, what are my stats for that?
Yeah, same.
Give us a 15 for Bones.
Bones is a very empathetic guy.
And a 10 for Cage.
Wait, Joandale's judgment is that low?
Holy shit, Kara. Wow. So I think what suddenly is going to hit Daya after the meeting is over, and it's just going to kind of smack her in the face like a brick. She just revealed Bo's name, and Callie's kind of been grilling Daya, Voin, Durandal. Don't bring up our past lives, not with strangers. That's stranger danger. So
Kill a
Durandal,
bitch now?
well, she's probably got anxiety starting to grow in her. Is this something she's going to have to take care of? Does she need to tell Callie? Should they run? Like, these are all questions that are now going to be pressing on Voin's mind. As for the rest of you, 5 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits, 6 hits. This guy seems completely on the level, but he is determined to get that information. So even if all of you said, nope, we're not going to help you, he wouldn't care. He would still try to get in there. You all get this impression that if you wanted, you could probably string him along. You could exploit him just because he's got a weakness. He has something in that facility he needs. So you all have a potential advantage over him.
Well, we can make use of that or not, as known at a later point once we start interacting with him more. But at this point, it's like, yeah, he's a fellow Shadowrunner. He's being straight with us. And he really wants this information. So it's a matter of, do we want to be decent Shadowrunners, or do we want to be Shadowrunners to the core?
No. I think the better way to that would be: do we want to be decent people, or do we want to be Shadowrunners?
There's decent people Shadowrunners out there.
I think Gage would be a decent person.
I think so. With how I understand from Bones, when the one session I've interacted with him, he errs on the side of decent. Like, I get the look of everything he has quality-wise and everything else skill-wise to get a better feel of him.
And out of character, I think Frosty will be bringing Ace. So we do have another somewhat infiltration / face type character, which leaves our biggest gap as a lack of drones.
Magic.
And yeah, second magic character would be better because Ace is only an adept. He's not a full magician, but still, even the little bit of magic he has could be instrumental if applied appropriately.
Yeah, but we definitely need to load up on anti-magic gear, because that's going to be a big deal.
Could you be an adept and a magician at the same time?
Yeah,
It's called a Mystic Adept. All right, but anything else from anybody, or shall we call tonight's session a wrap? And let me just double check the calendar here. We are good for a session on the 26th.
Yep.
I have no problem with that.
I think so.
Should be at this moment in time.
And I
I
hope,
will
despite
state-
this... sorry, go ahead.
I will state it's not going to be an issue for quite a while, but I will be moving in March.
Okay, well, I hope the move goes well for you when the time comes. In the meantime, thank you all for playing. I hope you had fun with the leftovers of the Pixies job, and that this latest mission is of interest to all of you. Please harass me online on Thursday night. If you don't see me on TeamSpeak, harass me on BBM. I do need to get my ass moving and actually make like a map for this mission. So by all means, harass me to make sure I'm actually working toward your benefit.
And we need 2 Chema files shipped out.
Indeed, indeed. Although, sorry, go ahead.
Impossible shopping. for small things on
That will,
characters.
yeah. So for the characters who are currently in this mission, we'll try to also prioritize their sheets so that you know how much money you have to play with.
Because again, like I said, mentioned earlier, the biggest thing we gotta figure out is finding a workaround against pixies going invisible, because that's gonna be really rough on us.
Well, again, if we can figure out some way to convince everyone that we're supposed to be there, invisible pixies don't matter.
Could also just buy some paint grenades and, well, yeah, just cover
Would
the
that
area
even
with
work
paint.
against how that works?
The paint would help, but if the pixies are smart and quick enough, they'll make the paint invisible too.
And since these are guards and people working at a AAA black site, they probably should have the training to be that intelligent reactively.
And again, bear in mind, Sliver just suspects pixies will be involved because this is a black site in London. London is pretty close to a few magical communities that include pixies, but even then, it's a smaller facility. At most, there'll be 5 pixies, based on his estimates. More likely, 1 or 2.
So don't go for
We
it.
also-
Erring on the side of caution.
We also got to take into account that since this is archives and R&D, the majority of personnel is not going to be security. So we gotta be careful of what we do so we don't kill non-combatants, as it were, or harm non-combatants.
Depending on your character's view on that sort of thing.
Yeah, bear in
Well-
mind, again, this is a black site, so you'll end up with, negative
User disconnected
repercussions
from
in
your
the
channel.
form of you're earning enemies, but as far as legal ramifications, cops aren't going to come after you.
Well,
Well,
I figure the corporation, since this is with a lot of meta-humans, the corporations could spin this as a hate crime. And
No,
then,
again,
yeah.
like the employees in this facility don't exist officially.
The facility does not exist officially.
Yeah,
Well,
Evo
even
can't
even
come
if
out
so,
and
if
say
you just
somebody blew up one of our facilities because it's not an Evo facility.
well, they don't have to say it's Evo. It's just have to see. Well, this was a gathering of a bunch of meta-humans, and then these bastards came in and shot everyone.
They don't want if this goes public, they are going to try to bury it so hard. It'll be
It's
like
not what I would do, but okay.
they don't want to be associated with it. If it was someone like Horizon is the spin corporation. So anytime something goes wrong for Horizon, they turn it into something right. When it comes to Evo, their reputation is so squeaky clean, they can't afford to even be associated with crime.
well, Horizon has a bit of a leg up when it comes to the spinning when they control 90% of all media outlets.
Well, at least in the North America. I don't know if that's worldwide, though.
Maybe it's not worldwide that much of a percentage, but they have decent stakes in majority of news.
Yeah,
But-
no,
As a
they,
form of
they
media.
are the media company. Yes, that's why they're the spin doctors.
But still, the
Eve-
point is, you don't make it a black site if there's nothing that you're worried about people finding out about in there.
Unless the information you want there is meant to be kept secret.
Exactly, and that's just it. An Evo black site, Evo doesn't have that many black sites, and the black sites they do have are the blackest. It's like Evo's entire mandate is a better future for all of meta humanity, not just the humans, but for every sapient creature on the planet and those that technically don't exist on the planet, because the person or entity that runs their corporation is a free spirit. Like, she is a magical entity, and their objective is to bring this world to the next stage of evolution. They are as close to the good guys as any evil corporation can be. They, of course, still have their dark secrets, and they still have the things that they do, which, well, they can't be a AAA corporation if they don't step on a few toes.
Yeah, I think your next closest would probably be Doc Wagon, and they're still a AA.
Yeah, and Dockwagon trains their medics to kill because it's the only way to make sure that they're safe.
Well, when you considering you're more than likely coming into a hot area to try to rescue them, if they have a high enough pay grade, you're gonna expect some resistance or active live fire going on.
Yeah, no, I'm pointing out the fact that for the nicest of the corporations, Dockwagon is still trained killers.